Participate always. Mr. Speaker, as I wrap up my our special order and my remarks, the world watched over the weekend as Iran launched an unprecedented attack on our ally Israel. This attack deservedly was met with scorn and contempt from governments across the world, and it was reassuring to see such strong cooperation from the U.S., UK, Israel, Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia to intercept Iranian missiles to keep Jerusalem and its holy sites from being completely destroyed. I never thought I would be in that situation, to be in Congress, to be a part of legislation this week, to be at this moment, meet this moment. People watched across the world about these holy sites. Look, I've said this before, and as I finalize my thoughts here, I think back to one of my first meetings in my first term of Congress that I got to meet with the consular general from the Israeli consulate in Los Angeles. And he was in Utah, and I got a chance to sit down with him. And I said, look, as I dig into this, I'm so impressed with the Abraham Accords. And candidly, I think it was President Trump and Vice President Pence's most significant success in our foreign policy during their administration. The Abraham Accords are diplomatic and trade relationships with Israel and Arab nations. I mean, when you think about the years and years and decades and centuries of us trying to find common ground and peace in that part of that region of the world, we created an opportunity, and the U.S. was a big part of this, to establish these relationships with Arab nations and Israel. Countries, potential bellwether countries like Saudi Arabia could have joined on. And I asked him, I said, what was the recipe for success to make that happen? And he said it came down to one thing, is that these Arab states, Arab Emirates, Morocco, Bahrain, they knew the U.S. stood firm against Iranian aggression. That was what he boiled the whole entire experience down to. These Arab nations knew that nobody in that region wants Iran to gain more influence. They want to destabilize everything over there. The whole region understands this. Arab nation, Jewish nation, whatever. They all understand that Iran wants to destabilize. To have the U.S. as a presence, a strong presence, to make sure that the U.S. had Arab nations back and they had Israel's back against continual potential aggression from Iran. Knowing that, they were willing to enter into these trade relationships that were potentially treacherous, because Iran doesn't want anybody to have a trade relationship, a diplomatic relationship with Israel. This is my number one biggest complaint with President Biden's foreign policy, is to just, okay, look, President Obama was going on the JCPOA. Let's just start those talks back up again and completely ignore the success that we had to create peace in the Middle East. It has been something that every president has wanted. President Clinton, watching what he was trying to do, the absolute tragedy of the assassination that took place during his time. Every president, Republican or Democrat, has wanted peace in the Middle East. To flatly say and to overlook the reason why the Abraham Accords were successful, and to not take that type of same strength to Iran, it was the biggest blunder, I believe, in President Biden's foreign policy approach in that particular region. And is it any wonder, while we're sitting here today with unprecedented drone missile attacks directly on our ally Israel? You have to stand up to Iran in order to promote peace in the Middle East. You cannot have it all. You can't have the entire pie. You have to call it as it is sometime and cut it off. The JCPOA should have never been re-engaged. It has not created any positive outcomes over in the region. Can anybody disagree with that? Are we better today in the Middle East than we were when we had the Abraham Accords thriving? No, we're not. And everybody knows that. And anybody that's honest is willing to address. If you want to be Israel's ally, you cannot also continue to pander to Iran. It is not the recipe for success. And that's not just from the Israeli point of view. That is from the Arab state point of view. And I hope to impress upon the Biden administration to recognize that. And that's what we're trying to do this week, putting several floor measures to hold Iran and its proxy groups accountable for their actions. We will continue to hold the line in supporting Israel and ensuring they have what they need to defend their freedom. Speaker, thank you very much, and I yield back the remainder of my time to the chair.
The gentleman